to the cloud. Very good. It's always nice when you press a button and it actually does what it was supposed to do, or what you intended it to do anyway. All righty. Well, welcome everyone, and I'm really glad you're here tonight. You might look around and you might say, well, we're here, where's everybody else? And I would say, or I would submit to you that really everybody else is exactly where they should be, and you are exactly where you should be. You see, what we're working on today really starts with a few people. And from a few people, it begins to blossom and build from there. What I'm going to be sharing with you today are some tools that I'm rolling out in Division A to help people to connect with pathways, to enroll and then engage with it. And I did that for the club that I'm VPE of and VPM of, Ozark Orators in Rolla, Missouri. And when I first went there, well, there was actually, I was the fifth member when I joined. And we had 2 months to go before the end of the Toastmasters year. And they said, you're going to be kicked out if you don't get 8. And I had no idea what that would look like, but I wasn't going to find out. And so I, and along with the other club members, worked to get a few more members. We got the few members and we were fine. Sigh of relief. But I knew there could be a whole lot more. And so we started out the year with 8, and over the year I began at that time I became VPM and VPE, and so I was able to really start to bring some techniques that I know of in my own professional life and from personal experience as a leader in a number of different places uh, to bear just by myself, and nobody really knew what I was doing, and that was okay. They didn't need to, but what I did is I just started right where I was, and I started modeling just by me doing it. And then I was able, because I was VPE and VPM, I was able to tell some things because I would set up with some programs. And so these tools tonight are really a compilation of the different things that I did and the different skill sets I brought to the leadership at Ozark Orders. But I did it in a way where I can really unroll it to where it could be highly effective in the hands of any Toastmaster, let alone a Toastmaster leader, and especially so in the hands of a Toastmaster leader. So today we're kicking off something that has the power to shift how Toastmasters happens in our clubs. And I refer to that as a pathways from day one culture. Many clubs don't really have a pathways culture at all. And that's okay. It's not their fault. A lot of the pathways is kind of new for a lot of people, and they haven't really connected with it in a way where they really see the power of it. And really right now they're still experiencing the work of it. And frankly, it's a lot of avoidance of it. And in avoidance, they miss the power that pathways is. But with the pathways from day one culture, new Toastmasters coming in hear about pathways and they see people doing pathways and they realize, hey, this is what Toastmasters do. And then they do it too. Towards that end, we're going to have 6 sessions. And in that 6 sessions, we're going to present to you 5 culture shifting tools. Now, these tools are not the kind of tools where it's yet another thing to do. Rather, they're very simple ways of thinking and a few simple strategies and a couple different tools that will take loads of work off of you to helping people get into pathways and to shifting a culture of non-pathways. And when it's a culture of non-pathways, that puts all the responsibility of Distinguished Club, virtually all of it, on the VPE and vice and president. So with these tools and creating a culture of pathways, what's happening is everybody takes ownership of the process and they have fun doing it because it's easy and they know how, and it's in the culture. They all see it happening. But that doesn't happen right away. None of these 5 tools that we're going to be unfolding over the next 6 weeks, one of which it will unfold tonight, none of those tools is a silver bullet that's going to shoot dead that werewolf of non-pathways enrollment and engagement. Rather, they are tools, new habits to bring in. They're very simple, they're very easy, but they will carry a lot of weight. And it's a very simple thing just to bring these habits into what you're already doing. Some of them, you already have access to the tools. It just might be a new way of looking at it, to use it in ways that are more empowering. Pathways isn't just a checklist. I think this is really a big shift in thinking. What I like to recommend is let's rethink pathways, the pathways introduction, how we introduce it. How do we usually introduce pathways? So we probably tried explaining it, what Basecamp is, how to log in, what a level 1 project is, how you get credit for it, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a whole lot of explaining. But what if we stopped explaining and really started inviting? Invite people to the growth journey instead of explaining it. We don't have explaining it doesn't cause people to buy into it. When we invite them to their own growth journey, that will meet them right where they are and will allow them to advance just as fast as they want to, and they will advance by being on that journey. Now it becomes something that they want to do because it's for their good. And then they will find out how to do it. Now, when I say invite rather than explain, I don't mean don't answer questions. Yes, of course. If they're asking questions they want to know, give them the information. But if they're not asking the questions, don't explain, just invite them on the journey. Pathways from day one isn't a system, it's a leadership mindset. It's a different way of looking at a few things that create a lot of big results. Why step one is everything? It's because when a member starts strong, they tend to stay. If they start weak and there's not much of a culture for pathways, which is the growth pathway or personal growth pathway of Toastmasters, there is no other. Okay, there's like some programs you can get, yes, but the core personal growth journey of Toastmasters is pathways, and most people don't realize that. And that's just simply a matter of connecting with it in a way that's relevant to their lives. And in order to do that, it's just a matter of thinking about it a little bit differently, but more accurately. When a member starts strong, they stay engaged, and they can especially start strong with clarity, because clarity at the beginning creates confidence, and confidence leads to momentum, and momentum leads to excitement, and excitement leads to working along their personal growth journey. And tool one that I'm going to tell you about today is the Start Here button. The Start Here button is a clean, focused web page, and really a series of 4 web pages. So it's a web page flow that walks a new member from the sign up for their first speech, the icebreaker. So from sign up to the first speech, the icebreaker. And it answers the question that is most important on the minds of a new member. Where do I go now? Where do I go now? And we don't have to allow people to figure it out themselves. I'm going to do a walkthrough in a moment. And from that walkthrough, I think you'll see that with this tool, it's easy to introduce that icebreaker, and then by default, pathways, whether you're a VP of education or you're a club mentor or you're a fellow member. And it's not just for the new member. This tool builds your leadership too. You're also building your own real world skills. While you're practicing with a Toastmasters setting and tool set and resources, in using them, you are developing real world skills, soft skills, but important soft skills for success in your life, personally and professionally. You'll grow in clear, confident communication. You'll also get practical mentorship experience. You'll get leadership credibility in your own club and beyond. When people see that you're creating a culture of pathways and people are getting excited about their personal growth, and they know pathways is the place to go for that, and they also enjoy supporting other new Toast members in a collaborative, supportive environment, they're growing as leaders too, and they're getting these same skills as well. So let me share with you tool number 1. the Start Here button. Okay. With this button, you can put it on your website. And if I were to want to spend hours figuring out how to code this, I could. But I would put that button right up here where it would always be up on top and it would roll with the page. But I'm not going to do that. I put it up as high as I could get it with this particular theme in WordPress. But the point is get it as high as you can and make it easy to find. Here's how I use it in my club. So with the new member, I say, hey, go to our website and look up in the upper left-hand corner on the navigation bar, and you're going to see a big red button that says New Toastmaster Start Here. Just click on that and then follow the pages. It's super simple, and I'm here to help you. So let me know if you have any questions. They click there. Here's where it goes. There's not many places to go, and that's by design. I did give in and put a nav bar up on top and at the bottom because I didn't want people to feel like they have to spend time fishing back and forth by pages. But there's really not much to do on this website, but it does everything to get a new Toastmaster into their icebreaker as fast as possible, preferably in the first 30 to 45 days. So you point them to this website with the button, or you tell them where to go. The URL is really simple, tmstarthere.com. TM like for Toastmaster, tmstarthere.com. When you get a new member, you can send an email and say, hey, here's where you start here. And it doesn't go into get pathways, go to Basecamp and do all this other stuff. It says, here, go here and start here. Just follow the instructions. I'm here to help you. So just start at the top and work your way down. And so they start here and say, oh, what's this? An icebreaker speech. Well, what is that? Oh, it's 4 to 6 minutes long. Okay, well, why should I do that? Oh, here's why it matters. Well, how do I get started? Well, let's get started. Okay. And then just go to the next thing. And then it goes a little bit deeper into it, why it works, what you'll talk about, and it reassures them they're not alone. And then they go and it asks them, are you ready to prepare your speech? And you notice how it looks like a text message, or it looks like an email. There's not a lot of graphics. There's a couple little emojis in there just to give it a little bit of color, but it's really just designed to do one thing: help somebody get their icebreaker done. Then they go to the toolkit, and now there's a step-by-step article. They can go here, and there's a couple of YouTube videos in there, and there's some other resources from Toastmasters, and this helps to walk them through. Or they can go to the official Icebreaker project materials, which are Toastmasters materials, and there's two options here. Now, they may not have joined Pathways yet. Yes, they paid for it when they became a member, but some people don't join for some reason, and that's okay. We'll help them there. But for now, let's worry about the icebreaker speech. They came to do speeches, and so let's help them do a speech. They didn't come for a pathway. They came to do speeches. So we're going to put them on a speech. And so not in Pathways. And this, oh, Pathways, what's that? Or no, I'm not. But, well, I can just download the project here. And this is the official Toastmasters Icebreaker project PDF right from their website. And then option 2 is already in Pathways. And oh, yeah, I guess I am. Well, here's where you go to log in and work on it there. And you can go and you can use the material up above as supplemental. And then it tells them, where they can get support, gives them some ideas, and it says, okay, now you're ready. What's next? Well, schedule your icebreaker speech. And then it takes them by the hand to schedule their icebreaker speech. And now the whole emphasis is on doing their icebreaker speech, which is a 4 to 6 minute speech talking about themselves. And we gave them all kinds of support, but we've mentioned Pathways once or twice because we really want them on Pathways because that's where all of their future projects are, and they're getting this idea now. And so the next step is choose your pathway if you haven't already done so. And so this right now goes directly to signing up for Pathways on the Toastmaster site, which it's pretty straightforward, but I don't know if it's quite as intuitive as I'd like it to be. So here's what I have next that this will link to. It's going to go to this button here, New Toastmasters Get on Pathways. And so it'll go to New Pathways. And if they click this button, it's going to end up with go here to do your icebreaker. But the new Get on Pathways is it's just a simple 1, 2, 3. Here's how you get on Pathways. Are you joined? One, two, three. Here's how you sign up. Have you joined yet? No. Okay. Well, here's an easy way to make a decision. And here's one, two, three. Here's where you go. Here's how you get signed up. And then it'll go to the official site. So basically, it's taking the fear and overwhelm that causes delay and procrastination, and it just helps people through the process. And if you have any, do you have any questions at this point? I'd be happy to answer any questions. No? Okay. All right. Good. And if you had a question, that'd be great because I'm happy to answer them. So just go ahead and put it in the chat if you have one. Let me go back to here. So what's coming next? That is the tool. That's it. Let me just show you how I might use that. In fact, how I do use it. Okay, new Toastmasters there. Well, what I've done before the meeting is on the big whiteboard, I've taken a marker and I've written on it tmstarthere.com. If a new if somebody that's a new member is there, I always point them to that up on the board. The Toastmaster is always going to be talking about explaining how the meeting runs. And so the Toastmaster can begin getting the habit of saying, new members, go here, TM start here to get going on your first project. And what I can do when people are signing up and becoming a new member, I go to my phone and I go to TM start here. I say, hey, you want to go here? Go to tmstarthere.com and here's what it looks like. And I just kind of scroll through. I say, it's real simple. Follow one page at a time, click on next, and it's going to get you started. And I tell you, it's super easy, but sometimes people need to hear things a different way. I'm here to help you. So I'll check with you next meeting, see how it went. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And that then introduces the chance for me to follow up. And I do that as VPE, but any new Toastmaster is going to go through the process. And when they do, they're all excited about that. They did their first speech and it went well and they're proud of themselves. And it was so easy. They just went to start here and they just followed the steps. And so now when new Toastmasters are in, I'm encouraging, hey, just tell people that go to the start here button, help them through. If they have a question, help them. So the start here button is a great leadership mentoring tool because any Toastmaster, even new ones, can do it. All they have to do is just point to it, bring awareness. And if there's questions that come up that are a little bit more technical, that's what the club officers are there for. In particular, perhaps the VPE, but all officers. And so in that way, everybody in the club will start to understand the relevance of pathways to their own personal growth journey. And they will also have fun doing it and also have fun helping new people get into it so they can enjoy it as well. But that's a part of that culture that has to be built over time. But it just starts with introducing them to that button. That's all.
Jim, I have a question.
Yes, sure, Rosemary, go ahead.
What would you, and I don't know if this would be asked, but they probably think about it. If you were to give an estimate of what they would need time to spend per week on pathways in terms of their busy schedule and fitting that in, what kind of an estimate or how would you respond to a question like that?
Well, here's how I would respond. Rosemary, tell me, how much time do you have to invest in your personal growth with Toastmasters? How much a week do you have? And you can make up anything, role playing.
2 hours a week.
2 hours a week. Well, that is fantastic because you can do a great job with 2 hours a week. Just get on Pathways, start working, and you could probably do a speech a month or maybe a speech every 2 months, but you can get growing really quickly with just 2 hours a week. Now tell me 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
That's great, Rosemary. That's all it's going to take because what you can do, Pathways meets you right where you are now with what you have, and it brings you to the next step by step. And if you can invest 15 minutes a week into your personal growth and you can really make it a habit, are you willing to invest that 15 minutes to your personal growth?
Oh yeah, I've got 15 minutes.
You could do it. Okay. And here's how. Just start here and set your timer 15 minutes. And when the timer goes off, stop. Don't do any more. No, not till the next week. But what you did, and that's beautiful because you're investing in your personal growth. So what did you think, Rosemary? You like that?
Yeah, I wanted to hear that what would be a good response to how much time is it going to take every week?
It all depends on what they want to invest. Just like anything, Rosemary, anything a person invests, they're going to get out of. But if they only have 15, that's better than none. So rather than prescribing a time, I just ask them how much time they have, and then that's perfect because it is perfect, actually.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That's a great question, Rosemary. I love that question. I had not thought about it, but that's the answer to it. So thank you. I'm gonna include that. All right. So what's coming next? Well, we have four more tools coming your way. Over the next 5 sections, we're going to explore the quick start checklist, which is super simple. You're probably already doing something like that. If not, you're going to want to. And if you are doing something like it, you may find something in there that is helpful to you. But it's so simple that any Toastmaster can be the quick start checklist hander-outer, and they can now start in leadership. And they don't have to know anything about Toastmasters at all. And so you can start to develop a Toastmasters leader within your own club simply by this very simple introduction to leadership. Then a culture building framework, which will probably be implemented by leaders first, although it can be just one person who's not a leader. But if that one person has a supportive leadership in doing it, it's going to amplify the effect of it, and it's going to make the culture shift happen much faster. Very simple. It's just being aware of 6 different things, 5 different things, and then just consciously sprinkling them into your sessions on purpose and then not doing anything else. Just like planting your garden, just start sprinkling those seeds, and then you don't have to dig up the seeds to see if they're growing. You don't do anything. You just kind of water every once in a while, maybe pull out some weeds that are getting in the way. And then one day there's a harvest there. And where it came from, who knows? Other than the ground. How it did it, I don't know, but it did it. And that's the important thing.
Jim, can
Now,
you say something about picking the path from the 6 options available?
I do say a lot about that because probably one reason people don't sign up for it is because there's that many options, and thankfully they dropped it from 11 options. So it has gotten easier, but it is still difficult. I'm going to address that in a future one, Rosemary, and it's going to be but the basic idea is I'm going to suggest to them that there's a few different ways they can go. They could do the questionnaire, do that little thing on the Toastmasters website that takes them through questions. It always leads to the same place that I've tried it out, experimenting with it. So I don't think it's that great, but maybe I'm not using it right. Or they can go and look at the different options. But here's what I say. I say you have 6 different options you can choose from. Probably the best one to start thinking about is presentation mastery, because that is really a core communications pathway. However, if one of the other 5 are attractive to you right now, then choose that one. But if none of the other ones are really that particularly attractive, choose presentation mastery, because presentation mastery will set you up for all the future ones with some great skills.
Okay, thank
You like
you.
that? You're welcome. Basically, help them make a choice. That's all, without telling them what to do, but narrow their options. They don't know. Each one looks as good as the other, and maybe even better than the others, but they don't know that presentation mastery is like a nice workhorse pathway. And if they want a different one, they'll know from a gut feel, oh, I really want to do that. Yeah, then do that one. But if there's no gut feel, do presentation mastery. Good question. Thank you, Rosemary. Then the A student strategy. Now this one's powerful. I've a number of years back, I coached 3 young people to get their high school equivalency, and I coached them how to do that. They did really well, and I coached them through 4 years of college, and they did a lot of work. They earned the A's they got, but they got straight A's because of the A student strategy I coached them in. And not only were they great, straight A students, but they all graduated summa cum laude because of the A student strategy. And I didn't know the strategy when I first started college. I was in college for 10 years. When I first started, I was a terrible student and I dropped out. And then when I went back more part-time. That's why it took so many more years longer for me. But when I went back, I realized, hey, here's the secret to getting A's. It's within my control. When I first started college, it was like, wow, this is a mystery. How do you get an A? And it's like, you got to be lucky, or wow, I'm not an A. I can't get A's. So I didn't. Well, when I went back, I started realizing that there's a strategy here that will get you an A. Now, you do have to do the work, but with the A student strategy, it shows you where to work and how to work and when to work, and then it happens. The Ozark Orders went from 8 members in the beginning of the year. We booked this year 16 members, and we are now on track to become President's Distinguished. We're a couple speeches away from that, so we expect to finish by the end of the month as a President's Distinguished. And we did the work, but it wasn't hard because we knew what to do, when to do it, and we just followed this A student strategy. So, and here's where it's really going to be helpful to you now. This the upcoming Toastmasters year, if you don't do a CSP, a club success plan, by the end of September, it doesn't matter if you get 1,000 pathway levels completed. It doesn't matter if you get 10,000 new members. You will not get distinguished without that CSP this year. So this A student strategy will make planning that CSP a breeze and actually fun. And so it's a good way to really help to remind clubs, your club, or if you're working with other clubs, that, hey, we have to get the CSP in fast. And here's a great thing we can use to help us to plan it, where that CSP now is not just a requirement we have to get in, but it can actually help us to get distinguished easily. And why do we want distinguished anyway? A lot of people look at distinguished as a checklist, something we're due to get like accolades from Toastmasters, but that's not really the intent of Pathways if you read Toastmasters materials. The intent of the Distinguished Club program is not to give awards. The intent is to make sure that every single Toastmaster has an excellent experience, an excellent personal growth experience in their Toastmasters Club. And so those requirements on the Distinguished program are like a health checkup to see, is this a healthy club? And the health is, are they growing with new members? Are they growing with people learning along, on a specific program of growth? And there's a couple administrative in there and everything else, but the members and the pathways are drivers of that distinguished program. If you don't get those, you're not getting it. But if you get those, the others are really easy to do. Just get some reports in on time. That's all. So we have the opportunity here as leaders, and even if we don't have an official leadership position, but just we take up leadership, we are in the position to help every Toastmaster get a great personal growth experience from Toastmasters with these tools, because these tools are tools anybody can use. Now, the Start Here button and the Quick Start checklist, any Toastmaster, even brand new ones, can do it, and they can make a very meaningful contribution to the club by doing it. And there can be more than one, or there only needs to be one. So it's a great opportunity for leadership. Now, the culture building framework is something that is helpful if it's leader led, because it needs to be modeled, but it's leader modeled. It is very helpful, but other people will just pick up on it naturally. And then the A student strategy is really your leader's going to have to do that and bring that in. But it's going to take the participation of everybody in the club to do the work to get that distinguished. So it's not just on the leader's shoulders. And then lastly, progress coaching tool. It's a Basecamp tool you already have access to, but you're probably not using it as a coaching tool. And if you, with just a few simple tweaks, you can use this as a coaching tool to open up Pathways conversation with every single member, even every week if you want to. Nothing heavy, nothing hard, but just helping them move to the next step, wherever they are, however fast they want to go, but helping them to move to the next step. So those are the 4 tools coming our way. Each tool works on its own, but together they help clubs move towards distinguished naturally. It's just a part of it. You actually end up with a distinguished culture in your club. The tools are small hinges that move big doors. Okay. All those pathways requirements for a distinguished program, that's a big door. Those are big doors. Getting people to engage with pathways and even let alone enrolling, those are big doors. But on those big doors are small hinges. And all these tools do is they align the hinges a little bit so it swings freely, and then it lubricates the hinge so it swings easily. And so those big doors of pathways, engagement, and enrollment happen just from those little hinges. But they're hinges that are aligned right and they're set up and they're in strategic places. That's the key to making small hinges do big jobs. So what can you do this week? Well, try introducing the Start Here button to a new member in your club. Just try one. Maybe you have 5 new members. Well, if you're not really sure about it, try one, see what happens. Learn from it, experiment with it. You're going to make the tool your own in the way you talk about it, the way you apply it, when you apply it. So go ahead and start trying it and see what happens. There really is no wrong way to do it other than to just leave a tool not used when you need it. But no matter how you start to use it, you're going to begin learning better ways of using it, and you're going to learn some ways of that's not the greatest way to do it. So try something different. You can try the start button on someone you're mentoring or you're onboarding. You can also use it with a guest considering joining. You can show them how simple it is to start doing their speeches, and you can show them it. The first one's only 4 to 6 minutes. We get you right in there. We get you going, and it's just a growth path, and you get on it and you move at your own speed. And just start with one share and see what shifts, see how it works, and then grow from there. Well, thank you, and let's keep it going. I want to just kind of point out a few questions to think about. Out of everything I said today, something resonated. Might have been something very small, might have been a bigger concept. It doesn't matter. The important thing is something hit you as truth or true or useful. So, what stood out to you today, big or small? And the fact that it stood out probably means that's the place to start because that's what resonates most with you. So go ahead and figure out, well, what really stood out to you and just start with that. Another question you might answer for yourself is what's one idea you might try this week in your club? Maybe you can mention the Start Here button during during a meeting. Perhaps you can do it as an announcement. Perhaps you can post an announcement, not even just this button, but just announce that it's there. Check it out. I'd like to hear what you think about it. Uh, what's one idea that you can try this week in your club? It's getting the momentum going and experimenting with it and finding what's working for you. Also, join us next Thursday for tool number 2, the quick start checklist. I'll be giving you a checklist that you can modify. It'll be a docx format. And if you don't have one, you can print it as is. It's not branded to a club. It's Toastmasters branded, or you can change it to what fits your club. But it'll be a nice template for you then. But you'll get that, and I'll show you how to use it in effective ways. Thanks for being here. You're already making the shift happen, and that shift happens one step at a time. So I'm going to open up for Q&A now. Any questions? Great questions so far.
Hey, Jim, I'm curious, when you mentioned that you went in with the survey, and it led to the same place all the time. Which pathway was that?
It was always to the pathway, choose this, one of the 6 pathways, always. It always went to here, choose your path. It was crazy. Maybe I wasn't doing it right. Hi, Xavier. Maybe I wasn't doing it right, but it always brought me back to choose a path, which is the 6 little cards, and you can see like the little sentence about it and search them. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't working on my computer. Maybe it just defaulted to something. Maybe it wasn't working that day. But because it's a Toastmasters thing, I'm advertising to do it, but I'm more emphasizing presentation mastery is a great workhorse. It's a great place to start.
Yeah.
If something else is calling to you, go for that one. If not,
Right.
go for presentation mastery. And I might say, if you want to try out their little tool to, try to narrow down a best choice for you personally, go ahead and try it. But in the end, once again, presentation mastery is going to serve you very well. And if you find that something else is more attractive to you today, right now, go ahead and choose that one instead.
Yeah.
Good question, Sherry. Thank you.
Jim, your Start Here button, what's the URL for that? If one is just bringing up one screen and one wants to go into what
I'm going to, good question. Let me put it into the chat and I'll say it again. Okay. It's tmstarthere.com.
Okay,
And it's TM like for Toastmasters. So it's really easy to remember, tmstarthere.com. Now you can put a button on your site. If you go to my site, oh, let me stop the share here. I'm sorry, guys. If you want to go to the website and my web Ozark Orders, and you want to right click it and then save image as. Hi, Deborah. You can go ahead and save the image and use it. I give you permission to steal it. It's not even really stealing because I give you permission to use it. Take it. If you want to create your own, create your own. Whatever's going to work for you is going to be the best thing for you. There is a button that you can send people to on the district website, and you would go to the district website, and then they would go to, there's a pathway resource, and it's got all kinds of pathways resources, a very nice section. And on there, there's the 6 different options. And then below that, you will see a version of the Start Here button. And that version is a more polished version. And if you like that version, you can talk to Patty if you can use that, but you can always send people to that site. But when you click that button, it goes to tmstarthere.com. And if you want to make your own website and your own pages, by all means do it. You can copy my pages and put them directly on some other site. I don't care. It's a tool that you can use. But if you don't want to do that work, just send it to tmstarthere.com.
thank
And
you.
absolutely. And it's, let's see, I would recommend wherever you put it, make it easy to find. But I also would use the URL in any emails going out, especially to new members, tmstarthere.com. And always, it's going to be, and the thing is, that's going to be one URL, one link in a sea of 1,000 Toastmaster links and URLs, right? So don't make so the thing is, this is easy to get through. So always point, go here, and don't explain pathways is this, pathways is that. You need to do this. This is why it's good. They'll figure it out. Everybody, how has been your pathways experience? What's your pathways experience in your club? Let me hear some experiences of how people connect with pathways in your club. Be honest. Yes, Deborah.
I find that once people get started, like once they connect with what is pathways, it's like this big mystery. Somebody asked me on Wednesday, a new gal who's been several times and she's planning on joining. She took the membership form, but she asked me the question. She's like, so when are we going to get to learning how to actually give speeches?
Starthere.com. Here, go
And
here.
so yeah, that's why I had to say, well, we have this program. It's called Pathways. That's where the training happens. The club meeting is like the experience lab where you come in and do what you learn
I
in
like that.
Pathways. But this is going to make it so much easier. So I just do the
Yeah.
TM
And
start
I
here.
love your
love it.
wording. Thank you.
And
I love your wording.
there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Like I'm all about inventing websites and starting over, but there's no reason. You've done the work.
Yeah.
Like this is going to make it super easy. Like we can build on what you've already started, but no
Yes.
reason to reinvent this. Like TM start
No.
here. Perfect, perfect URL. Makes so much sense just to let people get started. So
Yeah.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I think
Thank
this
you.
is going to help.
And you can
We
use
have
this.
people
You
who
can
haven't gotten started and don't know, and so this is going
exactly.
to really streamline that. So thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. And this is really like an MVP. Do you know what an MVP is? Minimum viable product? It's like a minimum viable product. Start here and use it. Don't reinvent the wheel. But if you think of something better, build your own and build off of it. Absolutely. And so why start with the starting point? Start at at what's there and then build something bigger and better. But don't make it more complicated. That's the key. But yeah, Deborah, I really like a lot of what you said. A lot of that was so on point and so true. And I loved your wording. This is like our lab, right? I forget the exact word, but it was like the lab. And yes, that's exactly what it is. But the problem is when you start probably what happens when you start talking about we have this program pathways and this and that and this and that, the eyes glaze over and it's like they might get bigger, but then it's like they don't know. It's like overload. Okay. So it's like, well, when do we actually get to start making speeches? Oh, well, here. Toastmasters start here. We all want you to get your first speech done, and the sooner the better. So start here. And then when they get questions, then we can answer them. And the key there is when they're asking the question, that they're wanting relevant information to them. If we just throw them everything, most of it's not relevant to them today that they're aware of. So they miss the important stuff. So just by giving them the really beginning important stuff, they start learning what questions that come up. And if we're there using this as a coaching tool, this is really a coaching tool. And that's what leaders should be. Toastmasters leaders should not be prophets. They should not be, that's wrong. That program's bad. That's not as good as it used to be. Oh, this is the way I did it. We don't point out the problems. Okay. We're leaders, not prophets. And as a leader, we recognize the problem, but we also recognize where we are. And then we look at, well, what's holding back? And now as leaders, we bring people to that promised land, so to speak, right? Which in this case is pathways. So yeah, we don't have to explain. We just have to invite people. What are we inviting them to? Not the pathways. They don't want a pathway. They didn't join Toastmasters for a pathway. They joined Toastmasters for personal growth. And we are inviting them on a personal growth journey. And it just so happens that Pathways is the Toastmasters personal growth journey. It's amazing to me that most people don't realize that, but it's not really in a way surprising because people just haven't figured it out yet. And the reason they haven't figured it out is because it, it, they don't see the relevance yet because it's not been introduced to them really in that way. It's more here, this is a program that's really good. This is what you need to do. That's great, but it's like something else to do. They don't really see like the way to do it. One social media platform that comes to mind is Facebook. I'm going to venture to guess that everybody's on Facebook or has been at some time. And the Facebook platform is multiple times harder to use than Pathways. And I mean, they change that thing every week. They're changing that platform. And what you used to know how to do last week, now you no longer know how to do it. And so, but you keep up and you keep learning. And even though you're frustrated, you keep going. Why? Because you want to be on there talking with people. And that's the payoff. People aren't seeing the payoff of Pathways because it really hasn't been communicated in that way. It has been communicated, but it's too overwhelming. We want to bring it to where it's just relevant to the one person. This is the beauty of the leadership at the local level. We're working with one person at a time, and we're helping one person at a time get onboarded with it.
But I think the start
Go ahead.
here is really, really going to help the new members to know where to start. Like there's so much complication in all the stuff that we do. Just simply the fact that there's Toastmasters International that they're joining, and they're joining a club, and there's 2 different websites that they have to figure out. If I just give them the start here button, that gets them started. I
And
love
they'll
the
learn it.
simplicity. I
they'll
love the
learn it.
simplicity of it.
Exactly. And all that other stuff is really signs of the super rich resources of Toastmasters. It's amazing how much is available. Anybody who wants to do anything in Toastmasters will find all the resources they need on that website.
But I think it's going to flow. Like once you get them started,
well, that's
I
it.
think that's the magic of this. Like we're going to get them started.
That's the whole idea, and that's the only idea. Let's get you started, and it comes from the marketing. Okay, it's like don't give all kinds of different places to go. Just walk them down a path and bring them to the end. If they don't want to go, that's fine, but don't get them confused because they don't know what they need to see yet. So we're really doing a service to people. It's really leadership. So excellent, Deborah. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just have to make a comment, Jim.
Yes.
I'm from the baby boomer generation.
Oh, okay. Me too.
I think to
I can't see who's
appreciate
talking. Let's see.
when I joined Toastmasters in the
Rosemary.
year 2000, Rosemary,
Hi, Rosemary.
we had manuals, and then we switched
Yes.
over to Pathways.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know what a learning management system was because I was not raised with all this computers and things.
Yeah.
And when I did the research, I was convinced, because that's where education and a lot of systems are going now in terms of learning management systems, that Toastmasters had to do that to be relevant with way the world was going, so to speak, the educational world. But I do have in our club 4 or 5 members who are also baby boomers. And
Sure.
not they have a computer, but they don't know how to do some things with it. I have one
Sure.
member who's using a holdover from when they switched. He still has a manual.
Hmm.
Yet, you can't do that anymore, but he's still
Right.
holding over from that.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is appreciate the age, the generation of your new member, because it does make a difference.
Yes.
And you have to accommodate that and make there may be more help you have to give or a different kind of help,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
necessarily pathways, just how to turn the computer on and
Yes.
what's a URL. They don't know what you're talking about,
Yes.
So I just want
100%.
to appreciate the generations.
Absolutely. And they deserve to have their needs met because they're Toastmasters members. And that actually helps the leaders within the group to really help work with many different types of people. And they get better by learning what the issues are. I've sat down with an 80-year-old man in a coffee shop and helped him get his pathway speeches in. We're not working with everybody in the world. We're working with a handful of people in our club, and that's where we're making the difference. And so bring it to a coaching level. And when you're coaching, what you do is you meet the person where they're at and you figure out where it is that they're trying to go, and then you help them to get there. And you can grow so powerfully in real world skills by doing that in a friendly, supported environment. So this is a growth experience, a growth opportunity, not for that baby boomer, but it's a growth opportunity for the person who is learning how to communicate and teach what seems like a complicated process, but it is not, but help somebody to find out what they need to see just to move one step at a time. And as they get going, then they learn. See, baby boomers don't really see it that way. They want to understand everything up front. You cannot use technology that way because it changes so fast. So you have to learn how to jump in and then learn as you go. But I'd be willing to bet, maybe not, but they probably have a smartphone. And so, okay, well, go to Toastmasters, start here. Okay. And then they go to start here and then, okay, start working through it. And then when they get to the point where they have to log things in, then it's like, okay, well, let me help you with that. So instead of giving them a course of everything at one time, they can start thinking about the speech just from their smartphone and then tell them you're going to be there to help them every step of the way. If there's anything on there they don't understand, you're going to be there to help them. And it doesn't have to be you personally, but somebody in the club is there to help them. And this is a great opportunity to develop leadership in the club where they can begin to take ownership of a very simple process and then grow with the process just as they're helping new members. So the baby boomers are actually an excellent opportunity. Now, I was in Toastmasters 30 years ago when I was a stockbroker in downtown Chicago, and I moved and I got out of the club. I got out of Toastmasters at that time, but I had those little booklets, and I thought they were so cool. And here's what was great about the booklets. Okay, I walked in, I didn't know Toastmasters is about speaking, and I was in sales, and I wanted to learn how to have more confidence speaking, maybe do some speeches because I was doing some investing presentations, and so just get some practice. So I didn't know what to do, so I went in there, and we're in a basement of a church, and there's about 8 people, maybe, and they're all excited to be there. And I joined, they gave me these booklets and they all had booklets. And then they were all doing speeches and the speeches were connected with the booklet. So it's like, well, what do I do? Well, I'm a Toastmaster. This is what they're doing. I opened my booklet and I started working on pathways, which wasn't pathways at that time, but I was working through the process because it was a part of the culture and I just plugged into the culture and I was new to it. The problem with the way the pathway, it's a problem doesn't mean it's really a challenge, but the trick here with pathways is that they aren't seeing it physically and it's out of mind because nobody in the club really talks about it much. Every once in a while, the area director comes and asks how it's going. And in some clubs they mention, other clubs they don't mention it. And in some clubs where they mention it, they don't know how to get on it, but they just give lip service to it because they're doing they're doing it at the level they know, but they don't really know much more of what to do with it. So that's what these tools are, is to help everybody to learn what to do with it and why they want to do it. And so what it's doing is it's creating that culture, whereas the booklets kind of created it because they were there physically. Now there's nothing there physically, so we create the culture in our attitude and the way we speak about pathways, and how we're always mentioning pathways, and how we're all doing speeches on pathways. And they come in and it's like, oh, well, this is what I paid for. I'm going to do pathways too, and they figure it out. Now with help, and that's okay, because if there's somebody needing help, there's an opportunity to learn leadership, and assign it to any club member, and let them, who's willing to do it, let them figure it out, let them make some mistakes with it, but in the process they're going to be good or better with the next one, and you've got a growing club leader there. So it's an excellent opportunity for those who will take it. I'm sorry, Rosemary, I get on soapboxes. Did I answer your question?
Yep.
Great, thank you. And thank you for that wonderful question. I appreciate it. Anybody else? All righty. Well, I guess we're at 7:51. Hope that you can all come next week. And next week, invite some people from your club, invite some leaders, invite some engaged members. I love working with emerging leaders. I love helping them find their voice. I love helping them to step into their power. And so they're coming to the right place if they come here with me, because I will definitely help plug them into leadership. Not in an official way, but I will get them thinking like leaders. And so bring them to the meetings. If you're mentoring someone in leadership, I'm happy to have them. If they're a club leader, definitely have them come. Anybody really, any Toastmasters welcome to come, but invite some people, and if from your own club, and start spreading that influence, because it only takes one person, but the more people that are doing it, the faster it spreads. All righty. Awesome job, guys. We've already started the shift already. I don't know if you can feel it. Maybe you can't, but maybe you do. There's already a shift happening. And that shift happening within you is the shift that people in your clubs are going to start feeling, no matter how little it is. And it only has to be a little to get going, because the important thing is to get started, and we've started. Deborah, did I see your hand go up?
Yeah, I do have another question for you. Hey,
Yes.
how do you feel about, do you want me to, or is it okay if I promote the TM Start Here URL on social media?
Please do. Absolutely.
Okay.
It,
All
it's
right.
it's it, it's something that I just let out into the wild, and I don't know where it's going to go, and I don't care. And it's something that will probably turn into a bunch of different iterations of it. I don't care. I'm happy to have done it. I've got probably 100 other ideas behind that one. So spread it, and
I think it's a great
there's no
tool
shortage.
to, I think it's a great tool to hook people in coming to hear more of what you have to say.
It could be. And Deborah, I would love if you do it and let me know how that works, what
Oh, I
happens with
will.
it.
I'll tag
Uh,
you.
because this is going to be ongoing training for all next year in Division A at least. And so I am constantly developing these tools, making them super sharp. And so I'd love to hear feedback, because this is how we
Awesome.
make it grow. Thank you. Any others?
Hey, it's good to have a full house here tonight. Thanks everybody for coming,
Yes.
and this is exciting. I appreciate, Jim saw a need and he's sharing it with us. So encourage anybody in our district. Hey, if you see something that you think you can do better and help the rest of us with, hey, step up and volunteer. No problem here. Okay. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Night.
Good night.
All right, Patty. Another good one. I'm
Okay.
glad you made it out. How was your speechcraft?
Speechcraft was great, and
Awesome.
I had to stay on so I could give my evaluation to my speech crafter, and of course it was the last one, and so like,
It's okay.
but anyway, so thank you so much for starting off, and we'll see
You're
you.
welcome.
And you got the recording, so you should be able to.
Oh yeah, actually didn't stop the recording, did I?
No, you did not, and I
Oh
didn't want
boy.
to.
Okay. Well, thank